No honey in here. All right. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order for the Natrona County Parks Board. Let's go ahead and start with a roll call. I'll start with my left here.
Rob Hill, present.
Jim Miller, present.
Stuart Hill, present.
Doug Irvin, present.
Michael Brown, present.
Charmaine.
Charmaine Reed, present.
Thank you very much. Let's go with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody had a chance to look at the meeting minutes? Any questions, concerns? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the August 11th minutes. Is it, no? Which one is it? It's the August 11th minutes.
Okay.
Seconded.
All right. Any discussion or anything else? All right. Move for approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign against. All right. Let's go right into our reports for our Parks Director, Michael.
All right, I'll start with the mountain like I usually do. The Casper Mountain Trail Center design is continuing on. We had a meeting with a couple of, with some input from Bruce Lamberson and Keith Tyler. We're currently reviewing possible changes from that meeting. At this point, any additional design changes are going to require an additional design cost, so that's getting presented to the commissioners. But taking care of any changes now is more cost effective than down the line when we're further down. Amundsen did receive a professional cost estimate, and it looks like it's falling within the guidelines that the county commissioners presented on funding. The school board has been present at the last meeting, but we still have no financial commitment from them yet. So at this point in time, the county's kind of running solo on its own, but we're still talking about that, trying to get them involved to help contribute.
Okay. What kind of changes were they talking about?
Some of them, there was change, they wanted to rotate the building. This is from the public. They wanted to rotate the building 90 degrees because they didn't like the way the snow came off. There's concern about the exterior patio being a cold roof and ice damming there. So basically what the change order kind of comes down to is we probably won't rotate the building. We're gonna remove that back patio because the way that roof slopes to the north, if we don't maintain the snow coming off the roof, there's a potential if it builds up that 4-foot retaining wall for the patio, the snow could come off and then come in on people, the public that's on that. So it's kind of a safety thing there.
Okay.
So we're gonna remove the patio. We're gonna put in a office / storage room that would be utilized by the user groups, the Nordic Club and the ski teams in the school district. So one of the things that came up is teachers use this for science class and whatnot, and they leave their iPads and equipment up there for the week that they do this kind of thing or they've done this in the past.
Okay.
And the district would like to do that again. So it's a space that they can secure the school equipment that they bring up for these site visits. And I don't really, and I can show you guys a little bit more. I don't have a good drawing. I've got pencil drawings. So basically, we leave the building the way it is. Egress would not be to the north. It would be out the west side by the fireplace. And then there would be a corridor on the east side to exit there. We still have to have enough egress for fire, but we don't want egress out the north without that protective patio, because somebody goes out that door and the snow decides to slide off the roof, it's gonna take somebody out. And I'm going off the top of my head, what else was there? There was some talk about just site modification, making sure the trails are wide enough. We may relocate the septic vaults for the septic system so they're protected by the building if the building moves south or north. But the footprint's basically the same. It's just some of the interior walls are a little bit, and as soon as I get that concept shown, oh, you have it in front of you.
Well, yeah, the older one, obviously.
Yeah, so, in that hallway, where that back door is, there would be a little office right there. And then where that storage is, just by the main, or mechanical,
Yep,
that would be the corridor to exit out to the west. Or east, sorry.
out here.
Yeah. And then, that hallway that goes into the great room on the north end by the office, that's closed off. That would be, a storage, so all the tables and things could be stored from the great
So
room
this
into
goes
there.
away and this goes over, storage
Yeah,
moves over.
yep.
Smaller,
Yeah.
okay.
And the IT room, we're gonna have an IT closet room somewhere. It may end up in the mechanical room, it may end up in the office, I'm not sure. The Parks Department office, not the,
So we're looking at 2 offices.
yeah, because the Nordic Club may need, and it's either office storage, it's more oriented towards storage, but that way the district could put their stuff in there when they're teaching up there. That way the Nordic Club could, like, Tori during Mangus, she's got different things that she hands out, badges and stuff. It would give them a space to utilize. And, there could be a desk in there for the ski team or something. Because we talked about putting closets in the hallway for the school district where they could put their own padlock on there. But then you're gonna get people that put other padlocks on there, and it just felt like it might be better to have actually a storage room under lock and key, and then, the couple of user groups that would utilize it would be the ones accessing that.
Okay. Are they going to have an open space that can be open after hours in? Because
So-
before, we had this whole area basically open at night.
So the bathrooms would be open at night.
Okay.
There's a vending area that's right in there in
Okay.
one of those alcoves. And there's gonna be some benches. That would be open at night.
So still closing off
Yeah, we'll
there.
still have a
Okay.
gate.
So this
closing
is what
down.
we're getting rid of up here?
No, that vestibule will be,
stays.
that entryway.
This
will
is
still be
going
there.
away.
This is going away, okay.
Remember, that's where the
Yep,
shed
yep,
roof
that's
comes
what I
down?
saw from the other side, okay. And then we'll go out this way. Okay.
Yeah, you can go out that way, and then from the great room, we'll have to have an egress.
Did we
which would
talk
be
about going out one of
Up on the
those?
northwest there.
Okay.
And that way, and those will probably have little roofs on them, but that way, nobody's
Yeah,
going
because
out
this is
underneath the
north.
big snow slide.
So this is west.
Right. So I thought that was covered.
It is,
They were worried
Which
about
is
it
west.
being covered but a cold roof.
because you,
Creating
so
ice
the
buildup.
interior space will have the
Heat,
heating up in the
right,
top.
yeah.
And then it'll go and it'll exit the building, and that roof will be a cold roof. And so you could ice dam there and then basically have a larger buildup that would fall off versus just the roof naturally sliding all the time. It could dam up there. because of-
Wasn't it going to fall off into a space that we thought was safe anyway? 'Cause
It
we kind
was,
of planned
but-
that.
But that retaining wall is 4 feet tall. So if for some reason we're not managing that snow pile in that cordoned off area that we're gonna groom
Fall
out,
back.
it could build up high enough to where
It's like a
that
half
it comes
wall
off the
or
roof,
whatever.
hits that
Right.
snow pile and then comes in. And so it's a safety kind of thing.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I look forward to seeing new drawings. I'm sure.
The other things that were discussed was a new parking lot entrance off the mountain road to the north. That's not gonna happen. It's just, it's not any, doesn't improve safety in any manner. Actually, it causes more issues. We've talked with Sheriff's Department, talked with Road and Bridge, and the sight lines and things, so the entrance will be the same. We might widen it out some more, but it's It's the best access for the area.
So we're still looking at doing the parking lot as another phase,
Well.
the
it's-
expansion, because we need more room.
Right now, the cost estimate looks like we can include all of the parking and the building,
Wow.
but we might need to find some additional funding to do that. I mean, it falls within the financial restrictions of the commissioners, but my budget doesn't meet the financial the financial limit that the commissioners put in place. So there's a gap and that's where we in the school district to kind of come in and help if they can. But we're in talks there, so.
Okay, good.
The school district is more interested in the site and parking than the building, because, like as Jim can contest, the Nordic ski team doesn't really utilize the building during practices and things. It's not their mainstay, and since we don't have a waxing room included in there, you know, they're more interested in having capable parking, capable access, improvement to the trail that'll be behind the lodge and the way it comes out of the maze. And there's probably 20 other things that I forgot, but that's kind of a consensus. And I'd be more than happy to show you the hand sketches I have on my desk, but they're rough,
Okay.
so,
Well, the bathrooms will be a big thing for them also to have.
yeah.
Jim, you have any questions? concerns?
Yeah, should we start cutting those trails in the back so they're cut and utilized maybe, I don't know if this winter? So the building,
I'm kind of leaving all of the site modification that's involved with the lodge. That'll all be part of the bid process, and the general contractor, he will get his subcontractors for removing trees for the parking lot and for trails. Without having a consensus, more detailed site plan, I hesitate to take anything out right now.
so do we have a timeline on this at all?
We're hoping to have the final kind of site plan and concept within the month.
Okay.
And I've spoke extensively with Joe about grooming and his limitations on width and back dragging on the sides of the buildings for the egress and skiing up to the building, so we have groom trails that kind of come close and that. And we're working on making sure there's a clear division of the parking lot versus the groom trails, so that we're not having to go into the parking lot with the groomer and dragging dirt and things onto the trails, because it makes us
No need. No need. Right.
So,
So is it, what's the school district, have they discussed at all what they plan to do with the waxing facility for the?
yeah, they would really like to see a more detailed site plan on how it's all gonna work. So we're working on that. Commissioner Milne's been in contact with the school board.
So they plan on putting their money into it?
I think so. That's our hope. We do not have a commitment yet. So, but we're proceeding along, and hopefully by the time we get this next concept, we'll have a public viewing of it, get some more comments. It's been on the website for a while. I've received a few comments, but not really directly about the layout of the building or the look of it. It's more, we need something this year. You don't need to go this fancy, I guess, would be the best way to describe it.
So the temporary building will stay this winter?
Temporary building will stay this winter, and I will have a certificate of occupancy before the ski season. So we'll figure out how to operate it and allow the public in and out of it, at least in some form. I haven't figured that out yet, but.
So we still don't have a CO?
No, we have, I just need to, we've corrected everything to close out the building permit. I just need to go up and get photos of it and submit it to the building department, but we're really close, so.
Great. Before we move on, Rob, you have anything else?
Yeah, quick question. Actually, two quick questions. So the patio on the north, that's gonna be omitted, or?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it was decided that should be omitted, which, that'll be some cost savings. We're talking about, due to equipment having to work around the building, you guys may have seen the concept with the rock half wall or 4-foot wall. Most likely that'll probably go away and be a concrete wall, formed concrete wall that, they might do some kind of texturing or color to it, but that way if a piece of equipment hits it, we're not doing rock and mortar to repair it, and, it'll probably
East to
last a
west.
little longer.
Which is east to west?
So,
This is north.
you've got a 4-foot half wall that the roof loads off of, right, on the edge here? And the concern is snow coming off and then going back in?
Yeah, on the patio.
Yeah,
Yeah, so with the patio gun, so that roof is, I don't know, 9 feet high, and that retaining wall there was probably 4 feet. And if the snow comes off and piles up,
yeah,
and we don't take care of it, I mean, the plan is the maintenance is gonna take that snow and harvest it and put it on the trails, because right there by the lodge, the trail goes bare quite often because of the wind and the sunlight that kind of gets on it. But if we weren't to do that and it was to pile up and you get a 5-foot, 6-foot tall pile of snow that's triangular, and the snow comes off the roof, it's gonna hit that side and then it's gonna come in to that area. So if somebody's standing there when that happens, it's kind of a safety issue.
Did anybody ask or propose that you could have like an kind of tube steel that goes up, so it's still open air?
Yeah.
That would stop, you can use.
Well, I thought about that, but then we had windows looking out that way, and it would kind of block the view looking through the tubular steel. So that's why we've kind of moved the egress out to the sides and not have anything on the north.
Okay.
And we'll still have a fence, snow fence and signage or something to keep people out of that area, that we can move when we need to collect the snow.
So instead of falling way off past the 4-foot wall, now it's gonna fall straight.
Yeah, there'll
Next to
still
the
be
building.
somewhat of an overhang
Okay.
on that, a couple feet or something, but it won't be 11 and a half feet out there.
Okay.
So by getting rid of that doesn't add any square footage? You're gonna pull your roof line?
Yeah, so we'll shorten the roof line, we'll save a little on concrete.
Then, another question if I may. The school board, are you working with the school board or cabinet?
The school board, Ray Cavalier is the one that sat in on the meetings.
Thank you.
Still think it'd be nice to have us in on one of those meetings, at least a representative here. Any other questions from the board on this one? Doug's been quiet over here, so, all right. Thanks, Michael, I appreciate all the information.
Yeah.
And once you get a design, you'll send
Yeah.
us a,
Yeah,
Copy.
and they're working on that now, so
Okay.
I should see it within a week or so.
all right.
The wayfinding signage program, the vehicular signage contract, not quite sure where we're at with that. So, we bid it, we awarded, well, we haven't put the contract in front of the commission yet, so
Think this is a dead project?
I don't know.
Okay.
There's funding in my budget for it. It's just a matter of getting the paperwork kind of done and whatnot, so. It's kind of, and I don't know if we've fallen out. I haven't had a lot of communication on it. And that probably falls on my department some to get that done.
We put a lot of work into that, so, just curious.
And,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'll follow up on that since I highlighted the waiting on county attorney. So I'll follow up on that one.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bear trap shelters.
So I'm waiting on the engineers to finish the prep of the bid documents. As you know, we submitted an outdoor rec grant application for construction of all three, because my budget only has one. So obviously, we won't do any construction till next year because of the weather, and we need to wait on that grant before we spend any money on it. I'm pretty optimistic that we're gonna get that and be able to build all three.
So in that grant, I haven't seen that proposal come up yet from Cheyenne, from Amy Crawford.
No, I submitted it to them. It was due August 31st. I haven't heard anything. I turned it in before that. And the grant is, I have $140,000 in my budget. 20,000 of that is for picnic tables and fire rings on the mountain. So I combined the two. That's my minimum 10% match. I'm actually matching 20%, which helps with the application. I'm asking for $700,000 from them, so a total of $840,000 to construct 3 shelters and replace. It could replace all picnic tables and fire rings on every campsite on the mountain, or close to that. And that-
So Amy hasn't put that forward to the rest of the group, is my understanding?
Oh, yeah, the outdoor collaborative, yeah, I didn't send it to her for that approval from the collaborative, but the outdoor rec department said that it wasn't necessary and it really,
Went direct to,
I went direct to,
and not through the
Yeah.
collaborative.
Okay.
yeah, so I didn't submit it to the collaborative to review and say, yeah, we like this project or not. I just submitted it,
You had an option to get
Yeah.
either way.
Yeah. yeah.
That's such an outrageous amount of money for 3 shelters.
Well, the shelters would be, I think the budget to construct them with the sites is somewhere in the $400,000 range to $500,000. The rest of that is for 86 campsites with tables and fire rings, which runs around anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 a site, due to, some dirt work to prep it, cabling to secure the tables down, all the little nuances of actually installing it. It's not just laying a picnic table there. It's
Sure.
kind of.
Maybe a little cleanup and making a little level, some of those?
That if we have the money
Sure.
in the grant, yeah,
That's sorely needed.
yeah.
Questions, concerns? All right. Crimson Dawn, is that a Doug question?
Still waiting on the county attorney on the MOU.
Uh-oh.
I'll follow up on that one too.
Okay.
The Summer Trail Master Plan, I'm still waiting on Kaylin to get the final draft to me. I need to follow up with them on that. Rotary Park, I don't have any update on signing of the easement. That's in with the county attorneys as well.
See what you did yourself?
Yeah, what little I know about that, we're waiting on, I think, Mr. Crispin's attorney on that.
Okay.
I do have in my budget this year, $11,500 for bridle trail improvements, which I did not ask for. I need clarification on what the commission's intent was for that, if it was for additional signage or whatnot, but we do have some funds to put into Rotary Park for some type of improvement, whether it's additional signs or some trail maintenance, but I gotta get clarified on what the intent of that money was.
That might have a lot to do with how that easement ends up, so, all right. And how's it going with the biathlon?
We had another meeting With Visit Casper, I'm still waiting on some information from the Biathlon Club for the plans, the course map, things of that. And I'll be able to refine an estimate of what it'll cost the county to do grooming there once I have a detailed course map. They were a little surprised at what I came up for a cost of grooming from anywhere from 5 to 10 days there. And I looked at groomers' wages, groomers' burden on wages, fuel, charge for equipment, and it's anywhere from $24,000 to $40,000. So, just in county in-kind service. There'll be some additional snow plowing for the parking lot, which we maintain anyways, in the road, but probably some additional depending on weather, because we'll have quite a few people there.
And what March brings us.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting on some additional information that, there hasn't been a decision as to what would be done. I think the decision was made not to expand the parking lot, due to Road and Bridges schedule and manpower. We're into September already, so there's not time for that, again this year. It just kind of got pushed back too far. I looked at the parking lot. If you park people the way they're supposed to, you can get upwards of 75 cars in there. Now, once you put outhouses in, that takes away, and once you put a tent in there, that takes away. But if you're having an event with 500 people there, shuttling them from Bear Trap makes sense, but athletes and coaches would be able to park at the venue. So the parking should work out.
Okay.
So at what point do we need that information in order to continue on with Visit Casper and with
So-
Biathlon?
Parks and Casper Mountain Biathlon Club will be at the work session the third Tuesday of this month.
Next Tuesday.
No,
No, the Tuesday after.
yeah, 2 weeks from last Tuesday.
Okay.
What date's that?
The 20th?
20th. Have you got the information from CMBC that we've been asking for?
No,
Nothing?
no,
So no updates from them at all?
no. Not that satisfies my request, let's put it that way.
Okay.
So is that going to be approached September 20th, or it seems like we're waiting
Yeah,
and waiting and waiting and
And
putting
another month
off.
goes by?
Yeah,
And
so what I said is I need that information before this work session so that I can review it. And so hopefully a week from now, I have it.
so who's going to be in that work session?
I'll be there and Rob Rosser will be there. I don't know if anybody,
Okay.
so it's my understanding the two of us will be called into the work session. Now, whoever wants to visit and sit and listen is more than welcome to be there. Yeah, I don't know if Visit Casper will be there. They might be there.
Okay.
Well, I think it's a great thing that they're going to be able to hold that. But the longer the wait,
Right.
it's going to hamper Visit Casper and everyone else involved.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's been discussed and I'm gonna need some guidance as to how much in-kind service the Parks Department can do, because we budget for 60 gallons of fuel a day through the whole year. And to groom that correctly is about 50 gallons a day. So my budget's gonna get hit pretty hard, as well as some other line items in my budget
Oh,
because
yeah.
of that, so.
Wear and tear on that equipment.
Yeah,
Very
Can you inform the board when that meeting, what time that meeting will be?
Yes.
So that we can sit in to listen?
Yep.
I'd be interested in going.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times I don't get the work session agenda until Friday. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you may want to check, I'll try and send it to you as soon as I get it, but you may want to check Friday afternoon on the website if that's up or not. But
All right. Any other questions, concerns on the mountain while we're talking about it?
Michael, one quick question. We haven't circled back to the kiosks in a while, and I
Oh.
was just thinking about that, and I was wondering where we are with this.
Well, I didn't get it on this agenda, but we were awarded that grant. I got it yesterday.
All right.
So I'm reviewing it, making sure there's no errors. And then I have to clarify with the commission that we still have the matching funds. It's a 50% match grant. We're asking for $230,000 because to put in 4 kiosks was like $460,000 with, I think that included lighting, concrete work. And those would go at the biathlon club, the archery range, and then 2 of them were specified at Bear Trap. 1 of them was specified at like the north entrance, kind of in the parking lot area, or close to those outhouses as you first pull in.
Okay.
And the other one, they specified where the south shelter used to be, which I disagree with. I proposed an alternate to be over by the east shelter, because by the time you're that far into the meadow, you're not looking for a kiosk. But if we put it by the east shelter, there's an outhouse there, the shelter would be there, it would make more sense. If we're gonna have 2 of them at Bear Trap. The reason these sites were picked is there was a short deadline on it, and we didn't have time to gather everything for our long-term leases, like at the Trail Center, because that's actually city property.
Right.
And so that's why these sites were picked and not the Trail Center. It would make sense to have one at the Trail Center. And hopefully we can get that in the budget or do it with the building, but we can at least get started and have these up and running.
Yeah, do we need 2 of them at Bear Trap right away?
Not
Seems like
sure
the Trail
that's-
Center would be a better spot.
Right, but with the grant funding,
It's tied.
It's tied.
we're tied to county property.
Ah.
Remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that little
so-
thing.
Yeah.
That little fine print.
Any questions, Rob?
I do. What is the relationship between the county, the Lions Club, and the Braille Trail? Is there,
So, I don't know if I think the Lions Camp just falls, I think it's on its own property. Yeah, they have their own property, it just sits right next to, what we call Bear Trap and then what we call the Nordic Center. You know, it falls right kind of in between those parcels. So, and then you asked about the Braille Trail?
yeah, don't they have some, serve in some capacity with it?
Yeah, so I believe the Lions Camp maintains the Braille Trail.
Okay,
We don't, I believe that actually falls on city property that's,
okay.
the county has a long-term lease with, same as our trail center. Jim might know a little more on.
I think the school district in the past, and I would say the PE department has helped maintain the trail system. They help put the signs up in the springtime and take them down in the wintertime. It's been kind of just, Bob Mattson used to do it, and he's turned it over, I think, to Christy Olson, and they've just done it through their PD department just to help out the Lions Club, and
Okay.
so it's all volunteer.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Doug? All right. Move on to the lake then?
All right, so the Pathfinder campground improvements, the county is currently viewing the bid documents for this so that we can get it out advertised, hopefully in the next week or two, so that we can get going on that. The lake is insanely far down, so building a boat ramp, this is a good time.
Yep.
So there's just a few things that the county's going through. I'm trying to define some dates for it, just making sure we have a thorough legal review, which we've gone through the, like, insurance requirements and that, so we have all that information. It's just, I think we just got one little final push, and then we'll get it back to the engineer, and then they'll advertise it and collect the bids and review all that, so.
Did you get any more comments online or anything?
No, I got a sheet of comments from the Pathfinder Marina, because they put out a plan out there.
Good.
Let me see if I can recall them. No reservations, absolutely no reservations. I like it. Definitely no reservations. And I think the last one might have been reservations. But other than that, they were,
So you're telling me they don't want reservations
Yeah.
out there? That's, okay.
yeah. So.
Yeah, okay. Were we planning to do reservations out there?
Yes, any improved campsite, we're gonna put it in a reservation system. So,
Is there a rule on that? I mean, we've really never talked about that.
there's not a rule, it's just, I kinda think if, Oakey Beach, if you're building a brand-new campsite with designated spots, you don't just want a free-for-all. The return on investment is not financial, or I don't see it as financial with the parks. So we invest this money into a new campground, the return on investment is the experience. Do you want to be camped with extra campers that are not in designated spots or overpacked like Fremont and West Side? Some people do want that. Most people like knowing that if they drive an hour out to Pathfinder, they have a camp spot. There's still Bishop's Point, all the others will still be first come, first served. So it's just, I see it as, if we're improving it, let's improve the experience. Give you a little space, you can not be crammed in there. That's just the way I see it. And just about every place else is reservations. It helps us on managing our cash, it helps us with conflicts and things of that sort, so.
Thank you for the explanation.
Yeah. So for Alcova, the Bureau Rec requires concession reviews, so we did, actually did that, I must not have updated this one. We actually did the Alcova Marina and Pathfinder Marina concession reviews last month. And then, the Bureau Rec wants to do a 5-year compliance review on private exclusive use. We did it last year on the trailers. This year, we're gonna do it on the cabins, so in October, there'll be multiple days that I'm out with the Bureau Rec, looking into each cabin site. A lot of the things that they're looking at that came up in the trailers is propane tanks that aren't properly secured, stairs that don't have, that should have handrails that don't have handrails. There's some minor things like maintenance, if the paint's all come off a shed, it should be painted. And so we'll gather all that, and they're gonna send me the lengthy report, and then I'm gonna break it out for each cabin lot. And then I'll send that notice to each cabin lot that you need to secure your propane, or whatever the site is,
Sure.
You have weeds that you should be taking care of. And so hopefully this will help improve the overall and get, a lot of people put a lot of pride in their stuff out there. There's trailers that look magnificent, and then there's trailers that have weeds and busted railing on their decks and things like that. So that's kind of what the review is for.
Yeah, I think you're gonna find the same thing in the cabin area.
Yeah.
Be walking down by the docks also then?
Yep,
Okay.
doing the whole thing. So, So that one's gonna take a while, because there's a lot more acreage than the trailer parks. They're not right next to each other.
No,
Um,
63 acres.
I just got an update on Cortez Road. So next week, it will be closed from the dam to Black Beach again. So if you want to go to Black Beach or Cottonwood, you got to go through Fremont Canyon. The week after that, starting the 16th, Black Beach and Cottonwood will be closed, because the whole thing will be closed while they pave it. So we're preparing signs and notifications on our website and everything that'll go out Tuesday out onto the campground, so people know that basically the night of the 16th, you need to be out of there or you may be locked in, so. And we'll send people through, making sure nobody's in there. But, and that'll be closed, Black Beach and Cottonwood campgrounds will be closed from September 16th through October 8th. So. And the other thing we have going on at the lakes, yesterday I got a new advisory for the cyanobacteria blooms. Sandy Beach, Little Beach, and I think Okie Beach were flagged at Alcova. We've had signs up at Pathfinder for Diabase and Bishop's Point. So it's just starting to get a little excessive. They sent me some pretty good pictures, but, so we'll have signs up in the morning for all of Alcova.
It looks pretty soupy out there last night.
Yeah. And that's all I have.
Okay, at the meeting the other day with the commissioners, you had some leases you're going through. Do we get new leases, or are those just extensions? Or
No, they were new. I
Okay.
believe they were, there was a cabin that was sold, cabin 33. And I think 1 or 2 trailers. So I think 8 or 9 trailers have sold this year. So we have new people there, and I think 2 or 3 cabins, maybe, have traded hands now. So,
Okay.
and we still have probably 40-plus people on the trailer lottery to be able to get on the list and get drawn when somebody puts their trailer up for sale.
Any luck on moving out the bad trailers?
That-
It's on our to-do list.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting closer. I've got a contact who can do it. We just need to make sure that we go through the legal part, that, you know, whether it's marked as abandoned by the sheriff's department or how we're gonna proceed with that. My goal is to get them out this fall before winter. After October 15th, when the trailer park's closed up, get them out, and then we can lease them.
Yeah. Is there any problems over in the cabin side with anybody not paying, or I don't know how that would work?
So, yes,
Yes.
I can give you more information later.
Okay. Questions, anybody on the lake? Seemed like we had pretty good camping out there this year. It looked like the levels were good.
Yeah, I think so.
Black Beach and Cottonwood, even with them being semi-closed,
Yeah.
seemed to be a lot of campers out there. Of course, the lake was just almost to the point of overused.
Yeah, and a couple other things, just with the Parks Department. I have a new admin assistant. She started this week, Anastasia. She's hitting the ground running. And then we have a caretaker, Morgan. She was a seasonal caretaker. And I was able to bring her on full-time as lead caretaker. So next year she'll oversee all the caretaker stuff. And the last half of her title is maintenance worker. So she's going to assist our maintenance staff on the mountain as well as the lake where needed. She's got some equipment experience. Just go get her. And so we've been able to, I don't know if you say half-time maintenance maybe, but in the off-season for sure, she'll be able to assist. And hopefully we can catch up on some of the maintenance since we only have 2 folks on the mountain and 2 folks at the lake full-time.
So we got her moved to full-time. The
Yes.
county's going to keep her. Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Trailers out there, boat trailers.
That's been a mess. I've been out a few times to try and flag the ones that didn't get their boat stickers. The sheriff's department went through the first round, and I never really got them to list the second round. It's just kind of a secondary issue. I'd have my guys out there doing it, but they're pretty busy
Yeah.
moving the Pathfinder boat ramp or dock, and we just have a lot of maintenance things we gotta get caught up on, so I'm gonna figure out a different system this year. We leave the gate open 24/7 because guys wanna go get their boat and go to Pathfinder at 5 in the morning. But I probably have 20 to 30 trailers that don't get their trailer permit. And so I don't know the total numbers yet. I'm gonna look into that this fall as to how many permits we actually sell. And they're available at the marina. Rosley purchases a bunch of them and then sells them there. I mean, I think he puts a little markup on them, but it's more convenient than coming all the way to town,
Yeah.
so.
No, I'm not keeping any of mine there. Maybe I should.
I've seen your cabins,
Not lately, it looks better. What else on the lake? Garbage has been picked up this last year on Thursdays.
yeah.
Is there any way we can get that to like a Tuesday next year at all, or, because it sits there and rots all week, you know, it sits there from the weekend,
So.
and then the critters are in it all week long, and it's
That's
everywhere.
part of our contractor. The other part that's gonna help where you're talking about, and I've been out several times over the summer taking pictures. My wife loves it. It's like, we're out at the
Pictures
lake, it's like Sunday. I need to go take pictures of the dumpsters. Really. But,
I've got some of those. Yeah.
I'm looking at trying to get approval from the Bureau Rec and build a fenced enclosure around the cabin dumpster sites so that, you know, and fairly tall so that if something does get loose, it's not blowing all the way down the lake because that's getting,
That's what's going on
But-
now, yeah.
the best way to help the trash issue is people. Don't throw pallets in there. Don't throw branches. It's against the rules and you could be cited for it, but
We've been trying this for a very long time.
yeah,
With very full packed houses telling them this, yet it still occurs.
yeah,
The big sign, bag garbage only, yeah, that's where they put the grill.
yeah. Grills. Actually, one Thursday I was out and, this was in the trailer park and the dumpster had just been dumped.
Right.
An hour later, it was full of branches. And I was able to track them down, and they didn't have any way to haul them down, but they did pull them out and put them on their trailer lot, and then came back out another time and hauled them to town. So, you know, for the trailer owners and the cabin owners, there is a penalty clause in your lot permit, and this next year, it's gonna be enforced that way because that's the only way I have teeth to get something done out of people. So, everybody wants to use it, it's great, I'm glad everybody's using it, we just need to take care of our own stuff.
Absolutely do, thank you, appreciate that. Any more questions on his updates? Okay. Public comment. You're it, Eileen. No public comment. All right, so we have no public. Board comment. Rob, I'll start with you.
I don't have any comments this evening, thanks.
Thank you.
I have a couple comments or questions. Is there a schedule to clean out the bathrooms up on the mountain before winter flies?
You mean to pump them?
Yes.
No, there's not a schedule, there's a plan to pump them, which ones are in need of it.
I haven't looked, I just have had people ask me,
Yeah,
you know, once October hits, middle of October, we can't get back in
right,
to the one in the maze.
yeah.
Uh,
And last time I was in there, I don't think I have photos on my phone of that one, but it wasn't, it looked like it was suitable, like it wasn't full. A lot of those have this kind of cone, like the one at Biathlon's only like 4 feet deep, but it looks full, but it's only got a foot. And when you look at the usage, it, you know, it's a management thing. I'm actually looking at, our equipment that Road and Bridge and Parks has cannot access all of our outhouses.
Right.
We have 53 outhouses in the parks. I'm starting to look at if I can fund it, get a contract, somebody on contract annually to pump these twice a year. All 53 of them. And, you know, there may be some that we can say, no, it only needs once a year. I mean, Ponderosa Park probably hasn't been pumped in 4 years, 5 years. It may not have been pumped since they put the new outhouse in. So, a lot of times the outhouses look worse than they really are. Now, Skunk Hollow, the water, the way the hydraulics work in there, in the spring, it fills with water. It's not full, it's full of water, but it's not full of actual stuff. And the other issue is, to pump some of these, we need to literally pump a couple 100 gallons into it several days before to liquefy what's in there, because they don't hold the water. I mean, in our dry climate, keeping 100 gallons of water in the bottom of an outhouse, it goes away pretty quick. So it's on my radar. I'm gonna make sure those are operable for the winter, so we will get them taken care of before the Nordic season starts. And as well as the ones at Bear Trap were pumped right before the festival, but we're gonna check those too for the snow machiners. So yeah, we're just gonna, hit them as we need right now. But I am looking at a longer term, having a regular contract with a regular schedule. Because the other problem with the Parks Department pumping them with our equipment is I have one, maintenance worker that has a tanker endorsement, which it requires for the vac truck because it holds too many gallons. So, we have that issue, and I'm trying to keep him at the lake doing other maintenance. And then the other issue is the way the boom is on the vac truck, the way some of and I don't know if the one in the maze has this issue, but the way the outhouses are set, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to get that truck to the hatches to pump them out. Rotary Park's another one that we cannot use that truck to get to. So there's some of these sites that we can't even use our own equipment to get to because of the way things were placed in the past.
Yeah, the maze one you can get to. It's on
Yeah.
that backside.
Yeah,
So we can-
so, I think that one we
Right.
can.
Joe put it that way so he could get to it.
Yeah, it's just,
He designed it.
but, so there's a lot of logistical issues with pumping out houses that, we're working on. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll make sure those are not having a Skunk Hollow issue like we did.
Okay, the other question I had, and I don't think you have anything to do with it, but I've had some calls on why isn't there a fire ban on the mountain yet? I don't know.
You know, they have a stage 1 fire restriction right now, which allows you to put them in fire rings, and I don't remember what else is allowed, but, I'm not sure who makes that call. Probably somebody with the county fire department. But yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't done that. I was wondering that a while back. Fire ban, but
I think the commissioners have in the past.
Yeah, and I don't know whose recommendation they go off of for that.
Recommendation.
Oh, he's the fire guy up there, isn't he?
Yep.
It's Mike.
Yeah. Hegler's, Mike Hegler.
Yeah, he's a fire warden, but, yeah, I don't know why they haven't. But I don't know if it's actually 100% his call either, I think.
Right, right. There's just been a number of instances on the landowners, the Casper Mountain landowners,
Yeah.
where there's been fires not attended, and people have had to go in there. I think this past weekend, they had one at East End Road that never got put out, and it was vacated.
So on somebody's private property?
I don't know if it was, or if it was that new area that the county okayed for camping on East End Road. Remember we were looking at that?
That would be a private parcel.
Would
We
it be
don't-
private? Okay.
We don't maintain any campgrounds past Tower Hill.
Okay.
So, and I know my caretakers are pretty diligent checking, but the campers are notorious, they don't want to extinguish their fire.
Yep.
Even if they're right next to a creek.
Yep.
So,
That seems to be in every park.
yeah.
I don't have any more further questions.
I saw Yellowstone actually listed how many unattended fires that they'd put out this year. and
It's crazy.
It was crazy. It's a very large amount.
I saw it too.
Wow. Doug, you have any comments?
No, I'm good.
All right. I do not really either, other than, Michael, thank you, and you've been doing a great job. We really appreciate you getting some of these things done, so they're annually taken care of, the toilets, those sort of things. Those are little items, but
They add up.
they really do. They're really, really big items when they don't get done. Having the Bureau Rec and you go through the cabin areas and the trailer areas, this used to be done, and it was done at the old statutory board. I do remember getting that little notice, here's all the stuff you need to correct.
Yeah.
And you know what? It kept everybody in line. People actually complained they didn't get those anymore. So, yeah, we got a lot of new owners since then, but I think it's a good thing for everybody. All right.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Do you have any questions or comments for us? Michael, any closing comments?
No, I'm good.